Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and this has got to stop. Keep watching to find out what. Okay, on today's video we're not going to be doing any unboxings, we're not going to be doing any reviews, and we're not going to be showing any how-tos. This is purely going to be a rant. So strap yourselves in and let's get straight into it. Okay, so this rant is based at two specific areas. There probably is going to be more, but the two that I specifically want to rant about are, firstly, suppliers, and secondly, viewers. So if you fit into one of those categories, this video is aimed at you. Okay, so the first up of my rant with suppliers. Now, if you're a YouTuber, you've got your own channel, or you're just a reviewer on a website, you probably get bombarded every day by emails from various companies asking if you would like to review, test, unbox their products, which is great. There's also a downside to it. So yeah, it's nice to get products to review, and more times than not, depending who it is, generally you get the product, you get to keep it for a week or so, and then you send it back to them, do a review, all good, give some feedback, happy days. Sometimes you can be really lucky and they will send you a sample and you actually get to keep that sample as a kind of a goodwill gesture, all that kind of thing. Sometimes you get sent products such as AirPods or other devices, which actually, because they've been used or put in your ears or in whatever way, they can only be used once really before they're resold. So they're not much use, so you get to keep them. But that in itself isn't my problem. My problem is with the way that some of these suppliers go about doing their business. Now, I've been really lucky. I've worked with some fantastic companies, people like Zotac, InWin, Creative Labs, Nokis, The Spinning Deal, etc., etc. The list goes on. Most of them, in general, are fantastic. You get an email, nice and easy to understand, comes with a contact name, a contact number. They've got an email and a domain which refers to the product. So say, for instance, if somebody from Creative Labs, their email address would be such and such at Creative Labs or Creative EU or whatever it may be, which is really good. So you've got a real name and a contact, and you've also got a domain name for reference. But a lot of these review samples nowadays tend to come from sellers on Amazon. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Amazon, I love the way it works, I love the products. It's easy, simple, good returns, all that kind of stuff. But there's so many sellers on Amazon, and quite often you'll get an email, badly worded, saying they are a seller on Amazon. Would you like to review a whole plethora of products? Which on first looks great, looks fantastic. A new company, new products, something new and exciting to show to viewers. But you generally tend to get it from a completely random email address, normally from a Gmail or Outlook account, that kind of thing. So it doesn't actually relate to a specific company. So essentially it could be anybody. And again, more times than not, because it's possibly come from further afield than your local area, there'll be some kind of random name, and in the email there'll be a completely different name. Even today I was going through my emails, but in the email it said, "Hi, this is Sarah from Amazon Seller." It's like, just use your real name. It's not that much of a problem. Yes, I possibly may not be able to pronounce it, but in emails, that kind of thing, it's not a problem because you just reply to the sender. So that is one of my big bugbears. If you're going to get in contact with me and you want something reviewed, please send me an email with your own real name on it, ideally the domain of your company, and some kind of links to your product, your page, whatever it may be. Again, a lot of these reviews now, because of the way Amazon works and the terms of service, they're not allowed to send you a direct link and all that kind of stuff, which is a real pain, and it's unfortunate, but a lot of these companies don't want to lose their seller status, so they think they can get around it by doing that. So I think essentially what I'm trying to say is, just be honest. Say who you are. If you're not the official company that is selling the product, you're a sub-company, just say so. Be honest, be upfront. It's far easier in the long run. And essentially, from now on, if I get emails like this from an unknown company or some random domain name, you're just going to go in the delete bin. I'm sorry, but that's the way it's going to have to be. So now we go on to the next part of this. So you get involved with the supplier, and you go through all the details of what they can offer you, etc., and how they're going to go about it. Then they say, if you can just pay for the product on Amazon, and then we'll refund you to your PayPal account, or whatever it may be. Now again, this essentially is against Amazon's terms and conditions. It's not a good way to start off. If the company isn't confident enough in either you or their product to be able to send you it for free as a review sample, then that's not a great sign. Granted, they may be sending these things out to hundreds, maybe thousands of different reviewers across the globe, but essentially if they haven't got confidence in their product, then why should you review it? So that leads me on to the next part. Now sometimes they'll actually put in the email that they will refund you on your video or review being completed and giving a 5-star rating. Now this immediately always flags the alarms. If a company is asking you for a 5-star review straight away, before you've even had or received the product, this is generally a bad thing. Am I right? You see a lot of reviews on Amazon for products and there's a real massive disparity between the reviews. There's a whole bunch of 5-star reviews, but then there's a whole host of 1 and 2-star reviews saying this product is awful, do not buy, etc. Then you get completely the opposite, people absolutely raving about the product, saying how good it is, how cheap it is, how well it works. And to me, this just makes Amazon's ranking system pretty much useless. And most of you probably know this already, but for some of you, this is probably something of a revelation and you didn't realize that this actually goes on behind the scenes. Well, let me tell you, it definitely does. So let's discuss why these companies are so keen on getting a 5-star review. Now this is something which both Amazon, iTunes, the Play Store, pretty much most of these online places, the way they work is if a product is good, they go literally on the ratings. So if a product gets a lot of 5-star ratings, it gets elevated towards the top of the list. Similar way to YouTube and subscribers and likes, all that kind of stuff. So again, it's nothing new, but to me, it's very sad that a product, just because it gets 3 out of 5 stars or 4 out of 5 stars, which actually probably does make it a fantastic product, it won't actually feature very highly on the rankings purely because it doesn't have a 5-star. Now you be honest with yourselves, and I generally try to be as much as I can. When was the last time you actually bought something which genuinely could not be bettered in some way, shape or form? Does a product deserve 5 stars? Probably not. It's a very much a rare thing. And if I'm completely truthful, I can't remember the last time I actually used a product or reviewed a product which I wholeheartedly thought couldn't be improved in some way, shape or form. So by agreeing to the terms and conditions of these reviews and giving a 5-star rating, not only are you misleading the customer, you're also doing yourself an injustice, which is no good for you, your channel, your viewers, and it just spirals out of control. So essentially, don't do it. And more to the point, don't ask for it. So again, what I'm trying to say here is to suppliers, just be honest, be open, don't expect a 5-star review for a product because genuinely it probably isn't worth it. Yeah, 3 stars, 3.5, 4 stars, it might be a good product, but it's not perfect, or at least it's unlikely to be. Okay, so this part of the video now is aimed at you, the viewer. So viewers, subscribers, anyone who comments on a video. So the first thing is do not spam links in the comment section. This is generally not acceptable for most channels. Most YouTube channels will have a part in their channel where anything that contains a link will automatically be put in the spam folder and possibly will never be seen anyway. So if you're spamming links to your own product, say for instance when I do a review of AirPods, guaranteed there'll be a load of people spamming links to their preferred supplier or a cheaper vendor on eBay, AliExpress, DHL, wherever it may be. Granted, those links may well be helpful to some people, but essentially I haven't had my products from those places mentioned in the links, so I wouldn't recommend those places until I've actually used them for myself, which hopefully you can understand that. Now again, I go back, yes, these things may be cheaper elsewhere, but if they are, make your own video. YouTube is an open platform, feel free to start a channel and do a review on the products that you think are better. That's the way this place works. So that's the first bit out of the way. The next bit is please watch the video. So if you're a keyboard warrior and you're about to type in a comment, maybe even on this video, watch the whole thing first. And if you're not sure, before you comment, watch it again just to make sure that what you're commenting is actually relevant and actually makes sense. Quite often I will do a video, say for instance a how-to video or common problems with a certain product, and then someone will reply, doesn't work. Now obviously it does work because I've made the video and I've shown it working, and if you'd watched the whole thing then you'd probably understand why it's worked for me and the method that I've used to make it work. But putting a comment saying doesn't work or this is rubbish or whatever isn't helpful for me, is unlikely to get a response, and even if I wanted to give a response, how am I supposed to answer that question? It's a statement. You're not asking for help, you're not telling me what the problem is, what your device is, what the problem is you're experiencing. It's just a flat, basic refusal to watch the video or to get involved. It's not helpful. Please don't do it. So following up to that are two other kind of things which are interlinked. The first one is, if you've got a question, ask a full question and please give me information. I'm not a mind reader. I make a lot of videos on a lot of different subjects with a lot of different content. So it's not always immediately obvious to me what your problem is or what you're trying to get across. So say for instance, it's with an AirPod and maybe you're not able to connect or one of the AirPods isn't connecting, then tell me that in the comment. Put down the make that you've got, where you've got them from, what you've tried to fix the problem already. All those things, although it may be time consuming for you, it's going to be certainly a lot less time consuming because I can actually pinpoint my answer to your question and hopefully answer it straight away and give you a result. Otherwise, I've got to go back to you and say, what exactly is your problem? Then I've got to wait for you to tell me your problem. Then I've got to send you a few possible tips and ask you if you've already tried them and all that kind of stuff. And it just bloats out the comment section, doesn't really help you and takes up a lot of my time, which to be fair, I don't mind. That's what I do this for. I enjoy helping people, I enjoy technology and I enjoy troubleshooting, but just cut out the middleman, tell me your question, make it as detailed as possible and I'll get back to you with a pretty good answer, hopefully. So that pretty much wraps up my rant. It's one of those days where I've just gone through loads and loads of emails, loads and loads of questions and comments, and it's got to the point, it's like, why am I doing this? It is so soul destroying at times. Don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy doing what I do on this YouTube channel, and some of you out there, some of you that have been with us from the beginning or from the early days are fantastic. I love to see your comments on the videos and it really does make a good sense of community. But there's just some people out there who just want to see the world on fire and don't really care, don't want to get involved and don't want to join in. So essentially what I'm saying is, watch the videos, enjoy the content, join in with the community, and let's just all enjoy ourselves. So that's my rant over. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.